Good evening and welcome to the Chrissy B Show. Now the show tonight was inspired by an article I read talking about brides getting really depressed after their big day. Gemma Hall was so happy when boyfriend Wayne finally proposed to her. She couldn't wait to start planning her wedding, but she got such a high from all the planning and organising that after the wedding she got really depressed. Actually, the article in the Mirror calls it post-nuptial depression. And listen to what she said. I spent 3 years planning my perfect wedding day, and after it was over, there was a gaping hole in my life. I felt so depressed. I just kept wondering to myself, is this it? Is that all there is to life now? I couldn't watch the DVD or look at my wedding photos. They all reminded me about a special time that was now over. Now, she actually spent £57,000 on the wedding. Now, I think this is quite common after things such as Christmas, and I came to the conclusion that when people are looking forward to something or when they have a goal, they're at their happiest. If you just wake up and live each day as it comes without working towards anything, you're probably not going to be very happy, or you're not going to think much of yourself. And do you know what? This applies to people of any age. My guests tonight are Frank Starr, who's in his 70s, who's a great example of never being too old to live your dreams. And he'll also be singing for us towards the end of the show. And at the other end of the spectrum, we also have 17-year-old Marla Morkin, who will also prove that you are never too young to have goals and aspirations. And Professor of Health and Psychotherapist Dr. Damon Ridge will also be joining me to give his professional opinion as to why people feel really down after things like the holidays, Christmas and so on, and how to combat that as well. And last but not least, we also have our regular makeup tip by Flavia Leal from the US, as well as fashion tips from our lovely Lisa Marie. So if you want to get in touch at any point, you can email chris@chrissybshow.tv. And if you want, you can also go to our Facebook page and put your comment there as well, The Chrissy B Show. So now I'm going to introduce my first guest, and I have here with me Frank.
Oh, good
Hello,
evening.
Frank. How are you?
Hi there. How are you?
And I also have Marla.
Yeah,
Hi.
beautiful.
So how are you both?
Great to be here.
Hi.
So
Good,
lovely
thanks.
to see you
Lovely.
both. So obviously we have 17-year-old here and a slightly older
74 Frank.
74-year-old. You don't look it at all, Frank.
Well, thank you for that.
So let's start with you, Frank. Now, I actually met Frank in Bristol. We got chatting, didn't we? Bumped
Correct,
into each
yeah.
other. He ended up singing to me in the town centre, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit embarrassing, but it was fun. I liked your voice. So I said to him, you can come
Nice
on the
song.
show and talk about, you know, what you do and everything.
It was a nice song.
It was a lovely song, yes. So tell us, how did you get started with the singing? When did you realise you had the talent for it?
Well, I was 14 and went round to a friend's house on a Sunday, and his mother had the door open, you know, and smell of the Sunday joint coming out, and I was waiting for it. And they had a show on called Family Favourites, and the late, the name, sorry, it's gone. But the presentress, who died about a year ago, said, and now here's one for our boys in BAOR in Germany, you know, from his mum. And it's Mr. Frank Sinatra singing Learning the Blues. And at first, I didn't like the music or the arts or anything. And then as I heard it, so I thought, I like that.
You like Frank Sinatra
I like that. And I found myself going into the house, into the kitchen, and asking Mrs. Davis if she could turn it up.
Okay. But when did you actually know you had a talent for singing? Did
hooked.
someone point it out to you, or did you always know you had a good voice?
Yeah, a few.
Few?
You know.
You're being modest.
Well, yeah, because it sounds corny, doesn't it? If you say, they keep saying to you, oh, you've got a beautiful voice.
Well, you have, because you were singing for us earlier, weren't you? You were practicing, warming up his vocals, so it was very good.
Fact is, I live to sing.
Yeah.
I love all the other voices as well, you know, food and whatever.
Where do you actually sing, Frank?
Where? I'll sing at the drop of a hat. I sang the other day to cheer a woman up in Wilkinson's.
Really?
At the checkout, yeah.
Okay.
And so on.
Yeah.
I sang earlier on today, I think, when I got here.
Yeah.
And outside, I mean, somewhere else.
Now, you were telling me as well, Frank, when we met in Bristol, that you actually go and sing in Cyprus as well. Tell us about that.
To where, sorry?
In Cyprus.
Oh, yeah, that was great. The guy that I was with, he's a Dean, if I may say his name, he's Dino Latino. He's half Cypriot, half Italian. He does very good Dean Martin, as a young Dean Martin. He got the looks and all that. And we were in Protaras.
Yeah. Protaras.
Eh?
Protaras, actually.
Oh, okay.
But that's the English way of saying it. It's okay.
I'm sorry. Excuse my, yeah. We were in Protaras. Protaras. And he put on One for My Baby, which is a classic, but it's for the early hours, you know, in the wee smaller. And I said, no, he said, trust me, you know. And it came, so I carried with it. And I'm pleased to say that all the traffic stopped.
Really?
Yeah, pedestrians and traffic.
Wow.
And they all stopped like you'd gone and froze them. And they waited there until I finished. And then I had a standing ovation. And,
Wow, that's great.
so that was great. That was...
Okay.
That was nice.
So it's a passion of yours, obviously, the singing and everything. So is it only Frank Sinatra songs you sing, or do you sing other stuff as well?
Frank Sinatra, Bobby Darin, Tony Bennett, Matt Monro. Met Matt Monro years ago. He's another mentor of mine. Nat King Cole, all the greats, as we called them.
That's
Not
great.
bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
And, you know.
Okay, and you, Marla, what's your talent? You're a very talented young lady, aren't you? I can see from all the achievements that you've got here.
So I have a passion for science and kind of communicating science out.
How old were you when you first discovered that you liked science?
Oh, like, how can you be to play with a chemistry set that your dad buys you for Christmas? Like,
2?
Yeah. Well, I think the instructions said 5+, so
was it?
maybe we shouldn't say that. Yeah, so I've always enjoyed like experimenting and just playing around with whatever I could, trying out, pushing things, seeing how far I could go and questioning things. So at about 15 years old, I was given an opportunity, and that opportunity, which I won, led me to NASA. And so from there, I've just been like building on my love for science and just going as far as I can with it and really seeing where it takes me.
Okay, so you're at college at the moment, are you?
Yes, I'm at school.
Okay, and you're getting ready. Oh, school, sorry, and you're getting ready for uni in the
university.
future. Okay, now there's something here that I was reading that was quite interesting. You're in a project and you're trying to raise £1 million. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so for school we were given a research project to do that you could be on anything you wanted. So I did mine on vaccinations, and I started reading about it, researching it, learned all about Maurice Hillman, and I contacted his daughter and everything like that. He made like 9 vaccines or even more than that just to cure so many diseases. And I was so angry that I was just researching it and not doing anything about it, that I set up this project, this really highly ambitious project of trying to raise £1 million and save 1 million lives by giving them the vaccinations.
So is it in the process already? Have you started raising money already?
Over summer I was contacting companies, I was meeting up with people face to face, telling them about the issue instead of getting them to blindly donate to a cause. I was making them aware of what was happening, telling them about all the hundreds of years of research to get us here, and yet so many people in the world just aren't having access to this treatment. And so people would donate out of their own kind spirits and not just because it was for
Are you allowed to
charity.
say how much you've raised so far, or is it a secret for now?
It's a secret for
All
now.
right. Okay, but did your age affect you in any way when you were contacting these people? Did they kind of look at you and say, oh, what's this little girl doing? Like, or were they quite, oh, actually, because this young, spirited young lady, how was it?
It depends. A lot of people don't really take you seriously when you're quite young. They think, oh, we'll go get a degree first and then come talk to me, or something like that. And they're like, but a lot of people...
Go get a degree first.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of people are really heartwarmed by the fact that the young generation are taking an interest in current issues, which I find quite inspiring. So.
Okay. What about you, Frank? Do you ever get people saying, look, you're too old to keep doing this, you should just give it a rest now, retire?
Oh,
what would you say to them?
You might get the odd one, but one in a, very, very few, dissenters. If you do a gig like tonight, we'll say, no, a big one, I mean, and you always get one. Well, not always, but you do every now and again. But
well, how does that make you feel, though? Is it like...
Well, I must admit, it does... It's upsetting at the time, but then, you've got so many that are loving you anyway, so...
Okay.
I think it's, if I can say, I think it's my role in life, if I haven't already said from head office, wants me to sing to make people happy. And that's what
And it obviously makes you happy as well.
Oh, yeah. Love it.
So what would you say to someone maybe that's got a dream and they're finding it hard to kind of get on their feet or to achieve that dream? What would you say to them? What advice would you give them?
Wow, straight away. I want so much to tell people, like the young lady, or aspiring singers certainly. Hang on to your dream and, and go for it. Don't be I lost so many things over the years because I got on a downer, thinking I was just like pub level. So I had chances.
Yeah.
But yeah. Can I speak about somebody that gave me a boost? A lovely gentleman in the business, still exists, Mr. Don Black, who was the late great Matt Monroe's musical director. Still works for EMI, I believe. He's on the anyway. And I wrote him a 7-9 page like St. Paul's letter to the Corinthians, saying that I felt like Yudi Mehanuhin working in a nut and bolt factory. You know what I mean? It was the two extremes. And he said, send me. That was when I was really pouring my feelings out. And he sent me a lovely letter back saying, send me a demo disc and photos and that. And then I got on a low. And I didn't do it.
You didn't do it?
And I owe him, and I want to, if he's out there and he sees this.
He's watching.
I'd love to, to...
you tried to contact him again?
Sorry?
You tried to contact him?
Oh, wow, would I? Yeah, very much so.
Okay.
It's been years, but,
What's your ultimate dream? Where would you like to sing, your ideal place to sing?
My ultimate dream?
Yeah.
Just once, I would love to sing at the Royal Albert Hall.
Okay.
My late mum sang there, but in a choir,
Marla, how does it make you feel listening to that?
It's really inspiring. It is. It's really nice to hear that people don't give up on their dreams.
Oh, no. Don't ever.
Because there's so many people I've met that have been like, oh, you'll be ambitious for a while, but then you'll settle down and you'll stop. You're like, no, I won't. I'll keep wanting to go, but it's nice. It's really inspiring.
What's your ultimate dream then?
Excuse me.
Oh, it's such a hard one because there are so many things I'd love to do, but there's not like an ultimate. There's nothing like I'm like, oh, I really want to do that, because I think my dreams and my ambitions just change so much because I see a new opportunity. I'm like, oh, I really want to do that. But then even if I don't get there, it's the time that I've taken to get there and the learning experience I've had getting there, the contacts I've made getting there that have really inspired me to go into my next goal and see how far I can get with that.
Now you said something interesting because you've got your own website, haven't you? Young lady, you got your own website, so cute. Anyway, you said something interesting, that having a goal isn't just about achieving it. Can you explain what you mean by that?
Yeah, so as I said before, having a goal is something that you can focus on, something that makes you wake up in the morning and makes you go, today I'm going to work harder on that goal, something that I'm passionate about, something I really love, and I'm going to put my energy into it. And it kind of gives you something to work for in life, not just for yourself, but for like your spirit and your energy. And it makes you it does make you feel a lot happier. So whether or not I achieve that goal, or whether or not anyone in the world achieves that goal, the process that you're actually waking up and you're actually wanting to do something that day, I think that's really inspiring.
Now, just a question here, because maybe some people your age, Marla, will be more interested now in like going out, partying, clubbing, cinema, all sorts of other things. How do you keep that balance? Because you seem very focused on what you want to do. How do you keep a balance of having fun and also studying and doing what you're doing?
I think it's really important to have that balance, and I'm really lucky I've had family that allow me to have that balance as well. I think, like, I love going out with my friends, obviously. I still enjoy being a teenager. I don't get too caught up in trying to be a 40-year-old. But but I do. But I really think that people shouldn't just concentrate on having fun. And I hate that in pop songs and music songs, they all go on about having, you should live like you're dying because and just go out and party till 1 a.m. and blah, blah, blah. And you're like, yeah, but living like you're about to die tomorrow doesn't entirely mean you should go out and party. Yeah. Maybe it should mean you can go out and
do as much as you can.
Do something, do something for the world, do something productive.
Okay. Exactly. Words of wisdom there for everyone at home.
From one so young.
Now, Frank, you're going to be singing for us later, aren't you? So what song have you chosen for us?
I Have Dreamed. Okay. From The King and I.
Now that's very fitting to the show tonight, isn't it? That's wonderful. So we're going to be hearing from you later on the show. Thank you so much, Marla, for everything. Thank you for everything that you've said, Frank. We're going to see you again later. So after the break, we're going to be joined by Professor Dr. Damien Ridge, psychotherapist, and he'll be giving his professional opinion about the psychology behind you know, why people need to achieve their goals and aspirations, and why people feel really down after things like the holidays, Christmas and so on, and how also to combat this. So join us after this break. Welcome back to the Chrissy B Show. Now, it's proven that the most depressing time of the year is right after Christmas and the New Year. Everyone goes through a build-up. There's something to look forward to and work towards, and when it's all over, there's a big anti-climax. So it's really important to make sure that you always have dreams and goals and aspirations and things to work towards. So to talk with me about this, I have Dr. Damien Ridge. Good evening, Doctor.
Hello,
how are you?
Chrissy. I'm good, thank you.
It's lovely having you back on the show.
Thank you for getting me back.
So you were obviously listening to what Frank and Marla were saying before. What did you think about what they were talking about?
Well, I think what they were saying really goes to show that life really is about meaning and having a meaningful life. And I think, as Marla was saying, it's not about the actual goal, it's the process of getting there is important as well. So that really fits with psychology in the sense that within us we have this drive to self-develop, to find meaning and to be ourselves, actually, to be who we are. And I think both Frank and Marla display that drive to be authentic and follow their dreams.
They do.
Yeah.
And I was saying earlier about the people getting, brides especially, getting really depressed after a wedding and people feeling down after things like holidays. Why is that, do you think?
Yeah, I think that some events in our lives are intensely meaningful. You know, for example, if we went on a holiday and we had a holiday romance, that could be very meaningful. Planning a wedding, you know, it really, people are in their element. So particularly when people are just kind of being themselves and in their element, it's such a great time. And so after that time, there's loss and there's grief. So people have to deal with that loss. And perhaps people may not be expecting the loss. In fact, when I was watching the Olympics, I felt after the closing ceremony of the Paralympics, I felt a loss.
Yeah.
You know, it was such a great experience.
It's true, yeah.
And I wasn't even involved in the Olympics, so I can imagine what it must have been.
Especially the athletes that got gold and everything. It's like, oh, my moment's over kind of thing.
Yeah.
So how does one combat that then? Because obviously we're always going to have like Christmases and holidays and things like that. So how can people... I mean, is there a way of people avoiding feeling that way in the first place?
Well, not really, and maybe that's not the goal. But I think, you know, so for example, on a holiday, if you're coming back from a holiday, one thing you can do is never come back on a Monday. Never go back to work on a Monday. Okay,
It's the worst.
Why? It's the worst day. I mean,
unless you love your job.
Unless you love your job, that's right. But if you love your job, you're probably not going to be depressed when you come back. But anyway, so the Monday, you're coming back in the winter, and you're on the tube, and you're sort of crushed in the Northern Line with all these other commuters. It's not. You know, it's not a great thing. So if you come back after the Monday, then you've only got 4 days. Okay, that's the first thing.
Yeah.
The second thing is, because meaning is so important to us, plan another event, plan another holiday. Okay, so as soon as you get back, think about your next holiday. Think about the next thing that you might do. Maybe you'll renew your wedding vows. So again, the idea is that you're giving yourself meaning, something to do in life.
Now, some people, actually going back to the weddings, some people plan their weddings for years. I mean, the example I gave at the beginning, she'd been planning her wedding, was it Emma her name? She'd been planning her wedding for like, Gemma, sorry, three years. So it's like all that sort of build up and like, she probably had a lot to do. Her time was probably like packed. And it's like obviously when the wedding's over and then you're on your honeymoon, obviously I'm sure she enjoyed her honeymoon, but coming back, maybe she wasn't as busy as well, so she didn't have things occupying her mind as much. Yeah,
so there could be a lot going on, but not being as busy and then probably not suspecting that this is what's going to happen after the wedding and the honeymoon as well. So, you know, I think it's really important that people find something meaningful to do. But I think a point that you brought up before, the idea, should you avoid your feelings? And I think that's probably not the goal, because sort of ironically, it seems that actually staying with your feelings is a good thing to do.
Really?
Yeah. So actually being with your feelings can be helpful. So,
in what way?
Well, for some reason, just staying with how you feel, they tend to transform. If we avoid feelings, they tend to come back double. So a way of staying with your feeling, for example, you might do exercise, jogging, because you can't really think. You sort of have to be with your feelings, or yoga, going to the gym, those sorts of things that keep you with your feelings. Even just kind of like coming back to your breath, and focusing on your breath, because you have to be in the moment with your feelings. So those sorts of
But
things.
even if they're negative?
Even if they're negative. The thing about feelings is, you know, they can be difficult. You know, you can have sadness, you can have, you know, a sense of loss, but it doesn't mean that they're bad. We all have ups and downs, and that's the other thing about life, is we can't avoid the ups and downs. So the idea is not to push away the feelings. Ironically, the idea is to be with them.
Face them, in a sense, yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
And find ways to face them. So I know that sounds a bit odd, but...
Well, I suppose if you're running away from them, but as long as you are facing them and you're pretending, like, because if people pretend they're not there, then they can't really do anything about it, can they?
Yeah, and then they may not be able to, or be aware of them, or be able to, you know, just be with them, and they tend to change when you stay with them. So, for example, you know, going on a holiday, people can find that quite therapeutic, and they might come back to their life and they might think, well, you know, am I happy in my job? Or there's issues in my relationship that I didn't realise, that I found out on a holiday. So that may change the way that people view their life when they come back. So they may have issues to think about.
So it's a good thing, for example, if they come back, say you've gone on holiday and you've had issues in your relationship, you're not sure whether you're with the right person or in the right job or something like that, and you go away and you think about it and then you come back. Now, I think if you make a decision to then change that situation and you decide, okay, now I'm going to break off this relationship because it's not going anywhere, or I'm going to change my job because I'm not happy, I can see that, you know, you can look forward to something. But then if you come back and you don't make a decision, it's like you've just been away on holiday and you've just come back to the same mess that you were in before. So I can imagine that's quite distressing for some people.
Yeah, and it can be hard because when you're on a holiday, you may come back thinking, yeah, I really want to change my life. And then as you come back into your life, you know, you can sort of get caught back into the, you know, into the sort of like the routine. So you need to hang on to the idea that you may need to change it. Now, you know, it may be that you don't need to change your job. You know, maybe it's that you're not following your dreams. And often people don't think, you know, about how they can follow their dreams outside of their job. So do they need to do that, you know, make that a hobby, sing in a band, whatever it is that they want to do.
Yes, true.
So it's not as you know, black and white as just changing your job.
How about yourself? Do you have something that you really want to achieve?
Well, actually, you know, becoming a professor it was something that I wanted to achieve, and I went to a workshop, and they told me that if you were to write down the thing that you want to achieve and when you want to do it, then you're much more likely to achieve that. It sounds a bit odd, but I think what the process is by writing it down, you're putting it out there, okay, and giving it a time frame. So I said within 5 years, I wanted to be a professor. So somehow you're kind of planting an idea in your subconscious that creates that the space for that to happen.
So you don't just sort of say, I want to do this, and then whenever it happens, it will happen. So you actually set like a target.
Yeah, that's right. And you put it out there, and maybe, you know, you might put it in an envelope to yourself to open up in a year and see how far you've gone towards that. So I think the subconscious, I mean, we forget how powerful the subconscious is. We have lots of negative messages all the time. Often we have, you know, negative messages from childhood. So we could actually begin to change that. So why don't we give ourselves more positive messages? Like, for example, you know, I am good at X, Y, and Z, and I want to be working in that area in a couple of years' time, and to keep telling ourselves that we can do that. So to plant these positive ideas.
So you're living your dream then at the moment.
I am, basically. I am, nice. And I'm thinking a bit like you. I want to write books, so I want to write popular books, and that's my next dream.
Oh, that's the next one. Okay.
Yeah.
Have you started already? Have you started?
I have actually.
Oh, okay. Have you set your target?
I have, and I'm hoping by about February next year that I'll be further down the track. I might have a first draft.
Yeah.
But that's really hard to stay on track because you know, you can get distracted very easily from doing that. But the thing is, you become a professor, and then I think it shows again what I was saying at the start, that you always have dreams. You always have to have aspirations, because once you become a professor, it's not enough. You want to do something else. You know, you want to do other things.
It's a human need, isn't it? Because you always have to be like working for something. Because if you just, like I said earlier, if you just wake up in the morning, it's like, okay, what now? there's nothing to look forward to.
Yeah.
Even like small things as well, actually. Even it doesn't have to be like a huge goal, but even if it's like something like, I don't know, preparing a dinner for someone or going out, making like plans with your friends to do something. They're just sort of mini goals, but at least you're working towards something. And then obviously the bigger ones of
That's what I think.
bigger dreams.
I mean, the worst thing to do is to sit on the sofa and not do anything, because it's actually quite stressful doing nothing. And so, for example, I think that, I think what you're saying is a really good idea when you come back from a holiday, or if you've spent 3 years planning a wedding. Why not set mini goals and treat yourself, and take yourself out to dinner, to lunch, have a massage. Try to get yourself off the couch and doing things, because that's going to begin to change things.
If someone at the moment now watching is actually in a depressive state, and they have come back from holiday and they've just come back from a honeymoon and they really don't know what to do first to get them out of that rut, what would you advise them to do first?
Well, I'd say that they're probably in grief, and they're probably experiencing a grief reaction. In a way, it's okay to wallow in that. So why not pour it over the photos and share photos with friends and just get that emotion. Again, I'm saying, get into the emotion. People who might understand the experience you've had, share the experience with them. So you're reminiscing.
So don't keep it all inside, just talk about it.
Yeah, it's not good to keep it inside. I think it's good to be with those feelings. So I think do that. Try. The other thing is be active. So even if it's winter and you come back into the winter, why not put on your winter coat, your winter clothes, and go out into nature, because nature is a really good way of thinking. There's research that shows just being in nature makes you think more positively.
I know, it does. I'm really a great believer in that, actually, because it was really gloomy the other day. And I even I tweeted and I said, I was thinking probably loads of people are depressed right now, because we had a really nice sort of spell of weather. And then all of a sudden it was just raining and it was really sort of dark everywhere. So I put on I tweeted and I said, I love the sound of the rain on my window and on my umbrella. So don't get depressed about the weather. Put on your wellies and just go out and enjoy it. Because why get depressed about the weather? Just go out and enjoy being, just listen to the rain. It's nice as well.
And get into the cycles of the seasons.
Yeah.
Enjoy the snow, the cold, the winter as much as you can.
Yeah.
And be out there in nature, because it really does
lovely,
make a big
isn't
difference.
it? Yeah. Okay, so there you go. Some great advice there from thank you, Dr. Damien. So, but if you are sort of feeling down or anything like that, and you want some information about Dr. Ridge as well, you can actually go on the website as well. His details are coming up on the screen right now. And you can also email me if you want to talk about something, chris@chrissybshow.tv. So thanks for joining us again. Hopefully we'll see you again soon.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, so after the break, we also have our regular makeup tip from Flavia Leao, I should say, from the US. And also we've got our fashion tips from Lisa Marie, and the charming Frank Starr will also be singing for us, so stay tuned. Welcome back to the Chrissy B Show. Let's go straight to our makeup tip with Flavia Leao.
Hi and welcome back to my fashion blog. Today's tip will be on airbrush makeup. Airbrush makeup is a makeup sprayed into the skin using an airbrush instead of sponges, brushes, fingers and other tools. It's very popular in film, theater and sunless tanning, but now a lot of people buy this equipment for their personal use. Airbrush is better than traditional makeup for HD cameras, because traditional powder or liquid-based makeup can settle and make the pores and wrinkles, especially around the eyes, more visible on HD film. Airbrush makeup also wears longer than traditional powder or liquid foundation and can be used to cover dark circles and other discolorations of the skin. I have here a few of my traditional makeup and the equivalent in the airbrush, and instead of applying primer, concealer, foundation and powder, and use a few of my brushes and a sponge, I can just spray a few drops of this makeup into my skin, and I'll be done within 30 seconds, and that's all I have to do to wear makeup that will last from 12 to 24 hours. Well, I hope I have helped you, and I see you next week. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you, Flavia. And now we have Lisa Marie with us. Good evening, Lisa.
Hi, good evening.
Now, I know you got a bit of flu today, but thanks
Just
so
a
much
little
for
bit.
still coming, because
That's
you're doing
all
our
right.
viewers would have been really disappointed if you hadn't been here.
Everyone's got to keep looking fabulous, haven't they?
Yeah,
So.
oh bless. You're not going to pass out on me or
No,
anything,
no,
are you?
no, I'll be fine, I'll be fine, I'll be
All
fine.
right. So tell me, so you're listening to the guests earlier talking about their goals and stuff, and obviously
Yeah.
we're talking about with the doctor about coming back and being depressed after a holiday. You went to St. Lucia. How did you feel when you came back?
I was so depressed, like, because I came back on, it was Wednesday morning because of the time difference, so
Yeah.
I wasn't due back to work until the following Monday.
Oh, so I had a couple of days off then.
Yeah, but you still feel so lost, because just like, when I think this time last week, I was on a beach.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it?
Or this time
last week, I was in the sun.
Like, you know what I mean? I was having drinks like in front of a marina kind of thing, and it's just like, and we did exactly that, like with all the people that went, because there's a big group of us, so all the pictures on Facebook, so we were looking at that, and then we met up for coffee and we spoke about like all the things,
okay.
so we were able to get it out of our system and just be able to live life again.
Well, you only went for a week, didn't you?
It was enough. I fell in love with the island. It was enough.
Oh my gosh, I'm not going to let you go again then, because I don't want you to come back depressed.
No, it's worth it. It's worth it.
Okay. All right, so you've got some more fashion tips for us today.
I do, because obviously
share.
the weather, as we were talking about earlier, hasn't now changed.
Yeah.
We've seen it was raining the other day, it's getting colder. So it's time for one of the ultimate fashion accessories for us ladies, and that's our coats. Because when it comes to winter, we spend most of our time in the coats. So it's going to be something we're going to wear a whole lot. So we need to invest in it properly and wear something, you know, that is going to be a fashion piece as well. So for some people who normally just go for the same old, I've kind of come through like some of the trends that are out there or that are going to be coming out there, so that people can try different things. And then also the way to kind of make the coats individual is by adding the accessories what we put with it, so be it gloves and brooches and stuff like that. So with some of the looks that I've broken it down into, I've put some little accessories to give people ideas about what to do.
Okay, let's take a look. I hope we've got some bright colours here. Have we? You know, I like colours.
Yeah.
No, okay, no, we don't.
not so much this time, but that's coming.
Okay,
That's
all
coming.
right,
We'll revisit, don't worry, because there's
Okay.
only a few.
All right.
So the first look we're going to go to is capes. Now this is kind of like for some people like a bit Sherlock Holmesy. That's how they kind of think these things are. But there are some really great ones out there, and they're good alternatives to a coat. So the first one there, on the left hand side, is a fur collar cape, and that's from Dorothy Perkins at £69. In the middle there is a tweed buckle cape, that's $44.99 from New Look, and that one also comes in a black tweed. And then the black cape up there is from Mango, and that's $89.99.
Now, if you have a curvier figure,
Uh-huh.
wouldn't that kind of make you look bigger, you think?
It's all about how then you're dressing it with. So if you're going to wear something with a cape, you need to be wearing slimmer fitting clothes on your bottom half, so that you're not adding to that illusion. So, but a lot of people, lots of different shapes can get away with the capes, but it's all about what you wear with it.
Okay.
So you don't want to put something really bulky, you don't want a huge jumper underneath there, because otherwise it's going to look wrong. And also then the problem we have with capes, because obviously there's no sleeves on it, so you're going to be lifting it up partly as well. So that's why I've chosen these gloves, and these are a steal. I had a pair, and I don't know what I've done with them, I'm so gutted. They're from Primark. Real leather, £12.
Really?
So it's
Those long gloves?
Yep, only
Wow.
£12, and so it comes up to like on your elbow, near your elbow, so that you are covered. So if you're wearing something long sleeve, put that over it, so you're not going to feel the cold as well. So that's a little tip, but that's the only one I could find right now for the gloves, but they're going to be everywhere.
Yeah, soon.
So the next look, and this is the next big trend anyway, it's military.
Yeah, I like that.
So the one, the coat on the far left, the black coat, I love this. This is from Oasis, and it's also got a mini peplum as well. So that is another trend that's hitting as well, and a really cool belt that goes there with it, because that's one of like the key accessories as well for military trends. And the one in the middle, I was actually quite shocked when I was like, it's from Marks and Spencer's, and normally some of their things can be a bit fuddy-duddy, but this one, they've actually hit the nail on the head. And this double-breasted coat is £129,
nice.
but it's also one that will see you through more than one season, because the military trend never goes anywhere anyway, but it's not out and out in your face, like got studs everywhere kind of look. So that's a good investment. And this khaki jacket
love that
on the end, that's £90 from Next. And again, a way easily for you to update a military look is by adding one of these belts. So I've chosen these two, and they're both from Dorothy Perkins. So the chunky knot belt is £9.50. And the zip detail belt, which is the silver one, is £12. So you don't just have to do this with military coats. You can do this with so many, because lots of coats already come with a belt to tie around your waist.
Yeah.
For you to make it individual, chuck that away and put a belt that actually works with your style. And also with other coats, it can help to actually give you a waist as well, because obviously we're going to be a bit more bulky in what we're wearing. So it's another way for you to define your waist as well.
Like, you wouldn't do that with the cape, would you?
No.
Because that could look a bit weird.
No, because you'd be looking.
Because I'd probably try.
No, not with a cape. Not with a cape.
All right.
Strictly with coats like this that are double-breasted and they're a bit longer. So it just helps to give you something a bit different there for your coat.
Okay.
And the last one is fur is the next category. It's a bit more opulent, a bit more wow. It can be a bit more dressy, or you can take it down. It's all about how you want to do this look. So the short jacket there is $34.99 from H&M. So it's really, really good value for money, that is. The next one in the middle, that is from Wallace, and that's $69.99. It kind of like oozes a bit of 40s type glamour type thing.
Yeah.
And again, can be dressed up and dressed down. And the bargain coat that is there, that is £30 from Primark. £30 from Primark. Such a bargain. And what is great for this season is that brooches are really making a comeback. Lots of different vintage styles. And so that's another way for you to easily make this look a bit more luxurious than it is. And these kind of brooches as well, you can also put on the capes as another way to update the outfit as well. So they're both from Accessorize. The brown one is £12 and the crystal brooch there is £15. So just a little snapshot of what people can do for the next big investment.
Makes you look forward to the bad weather. No, I should say bad weather. I should say good weather, because all weather's good. You just have to enjoy whatever the weather, right? Yeah, I'll get you into it, don't worry. We've got in our wellies. We did a fashion thing once, didn't you, about the wellies? I think we need to revisit that one, because I really want to get the ones with the wedges and stuff. I like them.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, we can do that. All right, thank you so much, Lisa Marie.
Okay.
So you're going to stay with us while Frank sings for us now,
yeah,
right?
for sure. I want to hear this.
And he's going to sing I Have Dreamed. So we're going to hear from him in just a moment. But if you do want more information about the show, you can visit this website, chrissybshow.tv. All our past shows are there, and competitions and lots of lovely stuff on there as well. And if you want to email at any point, chris@chrissybshow.tv. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you again on Monday. And now over to Frank.
This song that we talked about, I'd like to dedicate it to Mr. Don Black, who was Matt Monroe's musical director. He got me back on the horse. I have dreamed that your arms are lovely, and I have dreamed what a joy you'd be. Yes, I have dreamed every word you'd whisper when you're close, so close to me. Yes, how you'd look in the glow of evening on a hill. Yes, I have dreamed and enjoyed the view. In these dreams, I've loved you so that by now I think I know what it's like to be loved by you. I will love being loved by you. In these dreams
I've loved you so that by now I think I know what it's like to be loved by